She sat down slowly, smoothing the sleeves of her sweater like she was bracing herself for something painful. Ethan noticed it right away. Not the sweater, not the way her hands trembled just slightly. It was the way she avoided his eyes. They were at a small cafe downtown, the kind with warm lighting and chipped wooden tables. Ethan had arrived early, ordered tea instead of coffee because caffeine made him anxious these days, and checked his phone twice to make sure he hadn't misunderstood the address. Blind dates weren't his thing. But when your sister-in-law insists, when she tells you that it's been 3 years since your wife passed and that your daughter deserves to see her father smile again, eventually, you give in. So here he was. Single dad, 37, construction manager by day, homework helper by night. And now, awkward blind date participant. The woman across from him finally lifted her head. She had kind eyes, tired eyes, the kind that had seen disappointment more times than hope. "I'm Mara," she said softly. "Ethan," he replied, offering a small smile. There was an uncomfortable pause. She cleared her throat. Just before we start, there's something I need to say." Ethan nodded, "Okay." Her fingers twisted together in her lap. "Please don't laugh at me." His brow creased. "Why would I?" She cut him off, voice trembling. "People usually do." That stopped him. Mara took a slow breath. "I don't have a glamorous job. I work part-time at a library and clean offices at night. I don't own a car anymore. I had to sell it last year when my mom got sick." She forced a small, brittle smile. "And I don't look like the pictures my friend probably showed you." Ethan hadn't seen any pictures. But he didn't interrupt. She continued, words tumbling out now. "I live in a tiny apartment with peeling paint. My credit is bad. My last relationship ended because he said I was too much work. And sometimes I rehearse conversations in my head because I get nervous around people." Her eyes finally met his. "So if you're disappointed, it's okay. Just please don't laugh." For a moment, Ethan didn't speak. Not because he didn't know what to say, but because something inside his chest tightened. He thought of Lily, his 7-year-old daughter who practiced spelling words in the mirror because she was afraid of raising her hand in class. He thought of himself 3 years ago, standing beside a hospital bed, promising a woman who could barely breathe that he would take care of their child. He thought of how many times he'd smiled politely while people pitied him. Slowly, Ethan leaned forward. "Mara," he said quietly, "I'm not here to laugh at you." Her shoulders remained tense. He went on. "I wake up at 5 a.m. every day to make lunches and braid hair I barely know how to braid. I forget to eat sometimes. My sink has been leaking for 2 months because I don't have time to fix it." He gave a soft, self-aware chuckle. "And I still sleep on my side of the bed, even though no one's on the other side anymore." Her eyes softened. "I don't need perfect," he said. "I just need real." Myra blinked, surprised. Something shifted between them. They ordered food. Conversation started cautiously, then slowly warmed. She told him about her love for old novels and how the library smelled like quiet comfort. He told her about Lily's obsession with dinosaurs and how she insisted on wearing mismatched socks because they're happier that way. Myra laughed for the first time. It was small but genuine, and Ethan found himself smiling without trying. By the end of the evening, Mara looked lighter, still reserved but no longer guarded. They walked outside together, the cold air brushing their cheeks. "I had a nice time," she said, almost like she was surprised by it. "Me too." She hesitated, then nodded toward the bus stop. "I'll head this way." Ethan watched her for a moment. "Wait." She turned. "Can I drive you?" Her instinct was to refuse. He could see it on her face. "I don't want to be a burden," she said. "You're not." After a pause, she agreed. His car was clean in the way only parents' cars ever are: organized chaos. A child's jacket on the back seat, a sticker on the dashboard. "You have kids," she said softly. "One, Lily." Mara smiled. "I always wanted children." There was something in her voice, something unfinished. They drove in comfortable silence for a while. Then unexpectedly, her eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry," she whispered, wiping her face. "I don't know why I'm crying." Ethan pulled over. "Hey," he said gently, "you don't have to apologize." She stared at her hands. I've been alone for a long time, and tonight felt kind. That doesn't happen much." Ethan didn't rush her. He simply handed her a tissue and waited. "You deserve kindness," he said. She let out a shaky breath. At her apartment building, she hesitated before opening the door. "Thank you," she said, "for not laughing." He met her eyes. "Thank you for trusting me enough to be honest." They exchanged numbers. No promises, just a quiet understanding. That night, Ethan tucked Lily into bed. "Daddy," she asked sleepily, "did you meet your friend?" "Yes." "Was she nice?" He thought of Mara's nervous smile. "Yes," he said, "she was." Lily nodded, satisfied. Ethan lay awake later, staring at the ceiling. He didn't feel fireworks. He felt something better. Peace. Their second date wasn't fancy. It was pizza on his living room floor, while Lily showed Mara her dinosaur drawings. Mara knelt beside her, genuinely interested. "This one is my favorite," Lily announced. "That's a T-Rex," Mara said. "Did you know they had tiny arms but big hearts?" Lily gasped, "Really?" Mara winked. "I like to think so." Ethan watched from the kitchen, chest warm. Over time, Mara became part of their routine. Library visits, Saturday pancakes, quiet walks. She helped Lily with reading. Ethan fixed the shelf in Mara's apartment. They talked about fears, about loss, about starting over in your 30s when you thought life would look different. One evening, months later, Mara sat beside Ethan on the couch. "I need to tell you something," she said. He turned to her. "I can't have children." Her voice barely held. "I found out years ago. It's one of the reasons my last relationship ended." Ethan didn't hesitate. He took her hand. "Mara," he said, "you already matter to a child who isn't biologically yours." Tears slid down her cheeks. "I don't need you to be Lily's mother," he continued. "I just need you to be you." She leaned into him, crying quietly. And Ethan held her. Not because he was saving her, but because they were choosing each other. Slowly, imperfectly, honestly. Months later, at another cafe, Mara laughed freely while Lily colored beside them. Ethan watched the two of them and thought back to that first night. To the trembling hands. To the whispered plea. "Please don't laugh at me." He hadn't. Instead, he had listened. And sometimes he realized, listening changes everything.